I've been wanting to make this video for a while, but I've just been suffering more than I was expected from the side effects of the radiotherapy. So I thought I'd wait until I was feeling better. But in a way, it's the perfect timing because the side effects of the radiotherapy were more intense than I was expected. So what better time to talk about it than while I'm still experiencing it? And by the way, yes, I totally feel like the man in the iron mask, except in the plastic mask instead. And by the way, this is very uncomfortable, so let me remove it. Yeah, so I just thought that now that radiotherapy is finally over, I would take this opportunity to, just quickly go over how it went. I know I did something similar last year, or yeah, it was last year. Everything is last year at this point because we're at the start of the year. Well, most things. But anyway, I know there's a lot of subscribers that are new and don't necessarily know the full story or the full details or haven't watched all the videos, which completely makes sense if, this was the type of channel that I watched. I mean, if I watched any type of channel, the point is, like, I may not necessarily go back and rewatch like 600 videos just to catch up. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I know there's some people who've done that, and it blows my mind, and I'm grateful for that. It's just not really my style, so I get it. So, for those of you who aren't as familiar with radiotherapy as certain other people, first thing they do is they take a bunch of scans, then fit you with this amazing mask, which you put on just kind of like I did before, but when you're receiving the treatment, you're basically lying flat on your back on a table. And then they place this mask on top of you, and you can see here the clips. So all of them clip into place. And that way you don't move during the treatment. And there's no issues because the main reason why they do that is because they're zapping your brain with lasers, well, radiation rather. And, the brain is a very delicate part of the body. One, slight miscalculation, if you're off by a bit, it could be the difference between everything went perfect and, wait, who am I? Who are you? Where are we? What happened? So, in this case, even though it's not necessarily comfortable, it's definitely useful to have, and I completely understand why they do it. So, that's kind of like the gist of it. Operational ego. I went every day for 5 days, as you know. Each treatment lasted maybe 15 minutes, so not that bad. But the first day, like, the mask was not adjusted properly, and like really pressed down on my forehead and gave me the, waffle head, as I like to joke, or waffle face, depending on how you want to look at it. So yeah, in terms of side effects, that's kind of the main reason why I want to make this video, is let's start by, kind of reviewing what happened during the week where I was getting treatment, and then what happened after that since then. It's been about a week and a half at this point. So Monday was surprisingly good. I had a very, very good day. I did feel slight nausea just because at this point I'm pretty much always nauseous in cars. But once that period was over, I felt relatively well. So Monday was definitely the best day by far. Then Tuesday, nausea really started to kick in. And not the kind that I experienced before of like, oh, when I'm riding in a car, I'm sick. It's like, yeah, it's like 24-hour nausea. Even throwing up, it's like, okay, maybe it gets rid of it for 5-10 minutes if you're lucky, but it never fully goes away and then just comes back. Same thing for the following day. Thursday, I believe, was a little better, but not that much. I still had nausea. I think it was just the only day where I didn't throw up, surprisingly. And then Friday kind of sucked. So I didn't expect the side effects to hit me that quickly. Started also getting headaches a bit. Not that intense. It's manageable with Tylenol. It's just not something that I was experiencing or expecting to experience so quickly. And on that note, I'm assuming it's related to that because, I feel like I've put on some weight in the bottom of my face. I think it's already starting to fade. I think it was just swelling from the radiation. Like I think it would just be like the upper part, like the brain where it got zapped, but apparently it affected here too because I don't see what else it could be. Like, yeah, okay, we increased one of the meds, but didn't cause this before, so why would it cause it now? So that's pretty much the only explanation that makes sense. And yeah, so that's kind of how the went week itself. And then when it was over, I didn't know what to expect. It's like, hey, because they said it could be a couple days and you're back to normal, or it could be a couple weeks and you're back to normal. But last time they said that, took me a good 6 weeks before I was even like back to the stage where I was feeling bad enough that they're like, we need to do radiotherapy in your lungs. And then like to get better from that took even longer. Like at this point, it's been almost a year. Like I would say since April of last year. So not quite a year, but we're coming up on it soon. So I just, I didn't really know. That's the thing. You can never know when it comes to radiotherapy what to expect. It's just given what they told me, it seemed like it would be less intense and it seemed like it would not last as long. But that's the thing. It's like it's different. It's like I had radiotherapy in my brain before, but it was very isolated. They were targeting specific areas, whereas now is whole brain radiotherapy. And then I've had one in my lungs, like the biggest tumor zapped to keep it from growing bigger and hopefully shrink it and get rid of it. But I mean, there's hundreds more, so it's not like it's gonna fix anything. It's just gonna hopefully help alleviate the symptoms. And that just took so long to deal with that. Plus, when I had radiotherapy in my brain last year, they put me on a drug called Decadron, and it's just super powerful. The body gets addicted to it, and when you try to lower the dose, your body is just like, I am not okay with this, and you start throwing up and having headaches and nausea and like vomiting and everything. I'm just like, oh my god, okay, yeah. So I really hope it doesn't go back to that. It doesn't seem to be heading in that direction so far. But yeah, it's something I want to avoid because it literally took me 7 months to manage to get off that medication. And I do not want to have to go through that again. Plus, while we're, slowly lowering the dose, I can't receive treatment during that period. So this time they did give me a prescription for 3 days. It's like, a certain amount the first day and then half of that the second day and then half of that second one the third day. And then you're good if you need it. So far, I probably could have used it, but I don't want to kind of like get back in that boat unless I really have to. So for now, I'm kind of keeping that as a backup. So yeah, it's been like a little more intense. First few days after the week was over, I'm like, all right, not too bad. Some nausea, vomiting, but at this point, it's become kind of normal. Um, it was just nice not to have to write in the car because that seems to be one of the big things that triggers it now is riding in a car, and it gets like motion sickness from that. So yeah, I think just those 2 days after were better because of the fact that I was not nauseous and well, I mean, yes, I was nauseous, but I mean not nauseous plus car nauseous. It was just like one unit of nauseous, not two. um, so that's pretty much like it. I had 2 very difficult nights. I think it's the increase in medication that I received last week from when I saw my rehab team. Sorry. I just see so many doctors at this point that it's kind of hard to keep track. So yeah, when I saw my rehab team, the doctor increased the dose of I forgot the exact name of the medication. There's two of the new ones that he prescribed recently that to me have similar names. So it's like I know what each one does. I just don't remember the name for some reason. I keep getting those two switched, those two mixed up. But it's basically pharmaceutical THC, which will help with the nausea and will help as well with the, just the general appetite, being able to eat more. And it's something I've been taking for a while. It's just now that my body's kind of being able to tolerate it, got used to it, we can increase the dose. And then again next week, increase the dose. The only thing is, apparently with certain medications, and I'm guessing it's this one because it seems to be doing the same thing again now that I increase the dose, is during the night it makes my nose and my mouth super dry. So I'm just, I wake up and I'm always thirsty all the time. But the worst is just like, because my nose is so dry, and I also have a little phlegm, like it's just part of life since I was diagnosed. It just kind of like ends up creating a crust inside my nose, which I know sounds gross, and that makes it difficult for me to breathe during the night. And it's like, I tried the whole humidifier thing, like I have one in each room. I tried having both in the room at the same time, having the door closed. They usually leave it open to kind of circulate the air throughout the apartment. But I tried it. Two humidifiers in one room, door closed. When I wake up, like to go to the bathroom, it's like, it's a sauna. Like I can see the mist and everything, and it's like I can feel everything's kind of like damp. So it's like, even at, I think at the highest it got was like 90-degree humidity or 90% humidity, something like that. And even now, like, yeah, it was helping a bit, but not that much. And I'm just like, yeah, I can't keep going like this. Like, this is not sustainable. It's going to create mold everywhere in the apartment. So I don't want to have to deal with that. I already have enough with, like, the dust and stuff like that without having to worry about the mold. So I'm like, yeah, okay, no, I have enough issues for now. Let's just focus on those. So yeah, there were a couple days where it was good because I stopped riding the car, which made me less nauseous. But then I think the new med, because I saw my rehab team on Friday, they increased the dose. And right after that, my mouth and nose like started being super dry again. So I'm like, all right, it's probably that medication that's creating that. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do. It's just like wait. Your body's gonna get used to it in a couple days, in a couple weeks. That's what happened last time. So I'm assuming it's gonna do the same thing. So, but all that to say, like I had 2 days or 2 nights where I really didn't sleep well, and I feel really tired. I don't know if you can tell, like I know I tend to ramble, that is part of my personality, but I feel like I'm rambling more than normal. And I think that's just because I'm tired. It's like, I took it really depends. If I have a little pain, I'll take a pain pill because that also makes me drowsy. So it's basically like pain pill combined with a sleeping pill. If I don't have any pain, I'm gonna take a sleeping pill instead of a pain pill. But anyway, point is, I took the pill to help me sleep better, and ended up like sleeping way later than normal. Obviously, I still woke up a bunch of times throughout the night. It's like, I was in bed for, I went 15 hours or something like that. But of actual sleeping time, maybe 12 at the max, which seems like a lot. And yes, arguably it is a lot. It's just because my body is weaker because I get tired faster. I just need more rest, more sleep time. And because I've had bad nights 2 nights in a row, of course, my body's trying to recover from that. And sometimes it's like you sleep so much that you end up being more exhausted, even though you're less exhausted. And then this morning, it's like, I took another pill last night to make sure I slept as well as I could. And it's like I still feel tired this morning. So it's like I can't really tell exactly how I feel. It's like, yeah, there's some nausea in there, there's some exhaustion in there, there's some throwing up every once in a while, there's having to force myself to eat, same as usual. Coughing, better. Depends on the time of day, depends on the day itself. Of course, second I talk about coughing, I should talk about winning the lottery more. That'd be better than coughing. So anyway, it's like at the end of the day, it doesn't really change anything. It's just a question of waiting and managing the symptoms and the side effects as best as I can until they hopefully subside. And there are good days, there are bad days. Had a couple bad days in a row. Even now, like I have a headache, and I drank some water and juice and ate a bit and stuff like that. So it's like it's just a headache. It's probably just a side effect of the radiotherapy. Like my brain is slightly swollen, which presses against my skull, which creates pressure, which kind of hurts. So I'm assuming it's just something like that. So overall doesn't really change that much. It's just a question of kind of go back to what I was doing before of like let's just live one day at a time and see what happens the next day, because there's no way to know what's going to happen, no way to plan for it. So just I was going to say make the most of it while we can, but I'm not going to make the most of headaches and throwing up and being nauseous and everything. I'm going to endure it, yes, but I don't think I'll find a way to enjoy it. So anyway, thank you for watching. And since I started with this, let's finish with this. Ooh, it'd be ironic if I just keep missing in the video and I cannot end the video. Although I can actually see pretty well, because when it's like pressed up super tight against your face, you can't see anything. Like it literally squeezes your eyes shut. But when it's just like loosely fitting like this, I can actually see very well. So my guess is I'm not even going to miss the button. So let's find out.